everyone, welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm Jonathan, your host here at QuickBird Gaming. Thanks for joining me for this kind of off-the-cuff video. I'm on my way into town. I live out in the countryside. I'm on my way in to buy some groceries this morning. And I've been kind of thinking about this, and this being the subject of The Witcher 4 and Ciri taking over the roles as the protagonist. So I thought I would just kind of do an off-the-cuff thought process on this. As always, if you like what you hear, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel. If you disagree with what I'm saying or agree, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know. I love the discussion around these topics. So there we have it. Anyway, I covered the trailer that was dropped during the Game Awards about a week ago, and since then I've seen a lot of discourse around Ciri being the replacement for Geralt of Rivia in the Witcher series. And it seems a lot of the discourse kind of seems to fall into three camps. Some people are okay with it. Some people are very against it. They're very upset about Geralt being replaced. And then the third camp seems to be people who are upset with those who are upset. And so there's a lot of questions about this. Me personally, I'm not upset yet. When I watched the trailer, I thought it did what a trailer was supposed to do. It kind of teased us, kind of hinted at more. And I don't think it told us a whole lot. I think there's a lot still up in the air, a lot for us still to figure out with what's going on in this game. I'm not really that upset with Ciri taking over the reins. I think it was pretty much hinted at the end of Witcher 3. You know, one of the endings you can have is her getting a silver sword from Geralt and kind of taking over that job. So, to me, this seemed like the logical progression. You know, some people are going to argue that it's a lore issue with her, and I kind of shrug my shoulders at that. For one, all of these games kind of take place outside Sapkowski's established canon for the books, and you could make the argument that the games are just one big fan fiction, because I think Sapkowski's reaction in general to the game's content has been kind of lukewarm. I don't think he's been a real ardent supporter of the stories. So, you know, we're kind of straying outside lore to begin with. And the idea that women can't be witchers because they can't survive the trial of grasses, I get that. At the same time, Ciri's elder blood, you know, that side of her heritage may make her powerful enough to survive it. And then people would ask, well, why would she bother when she's more powerful? I can think of a couple of reasons off the top of my head. You know, one which I thought of was kind of intriguing. For all I know, because Ciri tends to be a pretty much do the right thing person, somebody from another Witcher school could have, you know, surviving Witcher school could have duped her, said, hey, we're going to reestablish the trial of grasses. If we would like you to undergo it and see if what we learned from you as an elder-blooded person will make it easier for people to survive. And if she went along with it, maybe it stripped her elder blood powers. Maybe she wanted her elder blood power stripped because of the burden it was putting on her. I mean, in the hands of a competent writer, you can think of any number of reasons why to do this that would make sense, that fits with the established canon of the game series, if not the books. Now, if you want to argue that CDPR doesn't have the competent writers to pull this off, that's another discussion, and one I'm sympathetic to. But as far as the lore goes, I can think of reasons why this won't be an issue. And if I can, other people can too. I know a lot of people are rolling their eyes and saying, here we go with one more girl boss. But I don't look at it the same way, again, because this was established. This was set up. This wasn't somebody who came out of nowhere that we had never heard of and elbowed Geralt out of the way to take over the role. I get that, but this is somebody who, like I said, has been established as being, she's been kind of immersed in the Witcher lifestyle since the books. So, you know, she has had, if not the trial of grass powers, she's had the technical know-how, the swordplay, the mindset. She's already been long established as being kind of a part Witcher, at least if in mind, if not in body, in the first place. I know that I saw a comment where somebody said one of Geralt's biggest bonuses was being able to go out and smash maidens. and now we're not going to be able to do that. And I kind of thought, well, again, as far back as the books, Ciri was it was kind of hinted that she was bisexual in the first place. She had a girlfriend in the books. She expressed interest in men and women. She could still go out and smash maidens. There's no real good reason why she couldn't. And again, this is not somebody that they're taking. They didn't suddenly say, okay, Geralt now suddenly likes men. They didn't twist up an established character for that kind of. This is all kind of already part of her character arc. So I think that that this going forward, the bottom line is going to be, how does this game play? And really, CDPR has done over the years a good job with the Witcher series in terms of gameplay. I still maintain that Witcher 3 might be one of the best role-playing games that's ever been put on a computer. If the gameplay is good, nobody's going to really care about the fact that it is Ciri, or very few people are. I mean, that's just the bottom line. It's kind of analogous to, I remember before Baldur's Gate 3 came out, some people were making a kerfluffle over the bear and druid sex. And okay, well, that was a thing, but the game was so good that in the end nobody cared. I think the bigger deal is that when people start worrying when we swap out the man for the woman, or they start doing representation, however you want to phrase it, I think the real concern, and even if people don't say it, if they don't articulate it, when you boil down their argument, I think in a lot of cases is they're concerned that they being the developers, are going to sacrifice gameplay for the sake of expanding their diversity. And I can think of some games where that has happened. Frankly, if the gameplay is good, though, people are going to play it. Diversity is not going to keep most gamers away from it. And so, that would be my kind of input. If the studios were going to ask me about it, that'd be kind of my input. Make sure your game is good first, and everything else will follow. Now, putting The Witcher aside, I think CDPR has bigger problems than making Ciri their protagonist. There have been some developments in that company in recent months and years that have left me uneasy. A good portion of the developers that were working on Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk have left the studio, including writers and developer programmers are gone. And that's concerning. It's always concerning when a lot of your talent that made your highlight games is no longer with you. I've also noticed that CDPR's employees have developed recently a rather disturbing trend of going after gamers and attacking them on social media, engaging with people in a combative way. I'm of the opinion that you don't go out and antagonize your primary customers as a business. You just don't. It doesn't matter if you think you're right or wrong. You could say, well, I have the high ground on this morally. That doesn't pay the bills. And I think in the end, it does more to alienate your potential buyers than anything else. Despite criticisms, I saw that the producers, again, I'll cite Baldur's Gate 3 at Larian, have always been very, if not friendly, they've been very accommodating in engaging with the player base. Even during the bear dust up, they didn't come out and start screaming at people. And as it went away, people kind of forgot about it. And I think CDPR would do well to emulate that approach. People might gripe about, Ciri's girl bossing and they're taking over another franchise and blah, 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 blah. And then when the game comes out and it's really good and really fun to play and really engaging, they'll kind of forget about it. What they won't forget about is, well, I made a kind of a comment criticizing their product and they attacked me personally. That will lose you customers for life. And that will lose you other customers who see it for life. So I think that's you could roll your eyes and curl your lip and say, well, I don't want those customers. You can only do that so long before you've alienated enough customers that you're out of business. And that's just the bottom line. So I think that's where CDPR really needs to concentrate. My car beeped and told me it's cold outside. Thank you. No shit, I know it's cold outside. So I think that's where CDPR needs to concentrate on making sure the game is good. Don't sweat about the people who are upset about Ciri. If the game is fun, that will all fade away. Anyway, those are just my thoughts on this. Like I said, let me know down below what you think. If you got a differing opinion or agree, I'd love to hear either one. I love these, like I said earlier, I do love these discussions on the subject. In the meantime, I'm just about to the grocery store, so I am going to sign off now. This will probably be my last video before the holidays, and I'll pick it right back up. I've got a video planned for New Year's Day. I'm heading back into my How Does It Play Today series with an old favorite. Since we're starting the new year, I'm starting a new year of 25-year-old games. Anyway, I hope to see you then. Y'all go out and live your best lives. Y'all stay gaming.